Hello again. Last year, the Dubai government unveiled a remote working visa to give existing employees around the world the opportunity to live and work remotely from the city for their existing employer. I made a video about it in which I provided an overview of the scheme along with its eligibility requirements. A link to that video is in the description box below if you would like to take a look at it and learn a little bit more about it. The scheme has attracted quite a bit of interest from existing employees from around the world who are interested in exploring it as a way in which to move to Dubai under their existing employment arrangements. I have certainly received a fair number of inquiries about it, with folk often asking some good questions to get more information so that they can assess whether it is something that they might like to do and apply for. Therefore, I thought I would put this video together, picking out some of the questions that I have received and answered on this topic, in case there is anyone else out there who might have the same or similar questions. And hopefully it also helps to get some more information out there on this, especially for anyone who might find it helpful or beneficial. So this is what you might call a Q&A to my original video, and I've picked out 10 questions asked and answered. Welcome back to another video on my channel. If you're new here, my name is Yusuf Ahmed and I'm an international lawyer originally from Scotland and the UK. My boutique practice specialises in all aspects of commercial law. If you require any advice, guidance or assistance with anything, then feel free to reach out to me at any time. I do my best to be as proactively helpful as I can. So without further ado, let's fire through the Q&A. Those who are self-employed are eligible so long as they are self-employed through their own existing company. Furthermore, their company is typically required to have been in existence for at least 1 year. Potentially yes, it very much depends on your income over the last 3 months before the date you apply. One of the conditions of the scheme is that you need to have and be able to show a minimum income of $5,000 per month. If you are self-employed through your own limited company with a variable or fluctuating income each month, then you could still be eligible as long as you can show that your average income for the preceding 3 months meets or exceeds the minimum income requirement. So for example, if you earned $20,000 in January, but in February you earned $500 and in March you earned $1,000, then you could still be eligible to apply in April, as your average monthly income over the preceding 3 months would be just over $7,000, which is above the minimum income requirement of the scheme. On the other hand, if your average income over the last 3 months works out at below $5,000 per month, then you would not meet the minimum income requirement and would therefore technically not be eligible for the scheme. Generally, the minimum monthly income requirement is based on your net income. Therefore, to ensure the best prospects for your application, your net monthly income should be at least $5,000 per month. On a separate but somewhat related point, I have come across some cases where applications have still been made by some folk who are self-employed with a fluctuating monthly income, but their average income over the 3 months preceding their application has been below the minimum income requirement. In these cases, their applications have been partially accepted and they have been told to resubmit the next month or when they can show a 3-month average that meets or is above the minimum income requirement. Yes, one of the conditions of the scheme is that you need to have appropriate medical or health insurance in place with UAE coverage. This should ordinarily be in place by the time the visa is approved and issued. It is possible to sponsor your spouse and children with a remote working visa so that they can live with you in Dubai. Generally speaking, an applicant will need to complete their own application first, along with all the immigration formalities that go with it, and only once that process is fully complete can the applicant then proceed with applying to sponsor their spouse and children. In other words, it is not done simultaneously with the applicant's application, but rather it is a process that follows on from it subsequently. The general rule is that you need to ensure that you are in the UAE at least once every 6 months to keep the visa active. Transiting through the country doesn't count, rather it means being physically present in the country at least once every 6 months. Some people might get the remote working visa, operate from within Dubai or the UAE a little bit, and then spend the majority of their time in another country, perhaps in the Far East or elsewhere, or even choose to split their time between other countries. This is doable with the visa. The remote working visa is for individuals outside the UAE who are employees and have been employed with their existing employer for a while and are looking to continue that existing employment but wish to do so by working remotely from Dubai. It's not meant for those looking to set up a new business in Dubai. If that is something that an individual is looking to do, then it would be an entirely different conversation to be had, and obtaining specialist advice and assistance is recommended so that they can assess the various options available for doing that and ultimately determine the best type of structure and setup for their new business in Dubai or the UAE. I regularly advise both new and existing businesses on entering the UAE market, so if that is something that you're looking to do, then feel free to get in touch. You can receive your salary in dirhams or in the local currency of your home country. There's a choice there, and it's something that would need to be discussed and agreed with your existing employer. The key point is that the minimum monthly income requirement needs to be maintained, which is $5,000 per month or its equivalent in another currency. As a resident of Dubai through the remote working visa, you can open a local bank account in the UAE, which can be in dirhams, or you could also have a multi-currency account that enables you to send and receive money in different currencies, whether it's dirhams, dollars, pound sterling, euros, etc. It can be difficult to predict a set time frame as such, as the time frames can change at any time. However, assuming that the application is relatively straightforward, meets the mandatory requirements and goes through a normal process, then it's possible that it can all be completed within the space of a few weeks. There is a time limit within which you need to enter the UAE and complete some further formalities, like completing a medical at a designated centre and also applying for your Emirates ID in order to fully complete the process. Normally you need to do this within a period of around 8 weeks after receiving notification of your application having been successful. Alright, that brings us to the end of this video. 10 questions on this asked and answered. If you have any questions or queries that haven't been covered in this video or in my earlier video, then you can send me an email. My email address is in the description box below, and I would be happy to help and assist you. In the meantime, I hope you have found this video helpful and informative. Look forward to connecting with you again. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.